Sarah Scott Davis. Hello, boys and
I'm
girls.
looking.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. This just started. I hit the record button, so we're just rolling with it.
Okay.
Screw it.
Yes.
I'm so sorry, people. This is not how I do introductions. I messed up. I'm so sorry. But anyway, we're recording, so I just might as well go with it. Here we go. Okay. Hello, boys and girls. It's your host with the most, Benjamin Dutil, with the Horror Heathen YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. Today, I have a wonderful guest, Sarah Scott Davis, who you know as Tanesha from one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Phantasm III. It's like my favorite one out of the entire franchise. So, well, for one, you're in it, and so is the other girl. So, the Commando, I call you to the Commando ladies. So,
Yeah.
so,
Oh yeah, Gloria. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. She's on fire.
so
Definitely.
anyway, y'all know her as Tanisha from Phantasm III, Lord of the Dead, and you need no introduction because you're awesome. So this is who
Yep.
you are, and this is who she is. Please give a warm welcome to Sarah Scott Davis. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm really doing great. Happy to be here. Yeah. Doing
So
really good. Very
you're
excited about Phantasm. Yeah.
it is. I love the franchise. Not many people like it, but you know what? They can kiss my ass because that's one of my favorite franchises of all time. So except for five. Five kind of went downhill on me. I don't know why. So I mean, it just ruined the whole franchise for me. But it's still part of the
Yeah.
franchise. I mean, I still gotta love it. Michael Baldwin, Reggie Bannister, I gotta love them all. But Reggie Bannister's a character. I love that dude. I mean, if I can give him a hug and a kiss, I would because I love him so much. So,
He's a sweetheart. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. So what do you want to know? I'm here to answer all your questions.
so I want to know. I'm not the only one. The audience also would like to know who you are, where you come from, how did you start your acting career, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. Well, I was born in Champaign-Urbana, Illinois, and my great-grandmother raised me until I was 4 years old because my mother had to go to work every morning, so she would drop me off. And I sat with her during the afternoons and watched soaps. And then from there, I started entertaining her because she got tired of looking at the soaps. So I was her source of entertainment. And then we moved to upstate New York, and that's when I did my first play, Pippin, when I was in fourth grade. Then moved to Boston, went to BU, went to NYU, studied abroad, worked abroad, came back to New York. And then I decided I want to go to California and pursue a film career. I'd already done like a tour, national tour for Colored Girls out of New York before I went to LA and landed in LA. And my first film audition was Phantasm. So that was like my first big, film audition. And I just remember my agent calling me up and saying, Sarah, I've got something for you. It's a horror movie. And I said, okay, cool. She said, you're going to be a military woman. So, you have to be really tough and everything. I said, I got that. I was in New York for a long time from the East Coast. I got it. Right. And she said, okay, so, go ahead, go in there and knock it out. I really didn't have any other information besides that. So I'm preparing and I'm doing like, trying to be really raw and authentic and everything. And a friend of mine who was from LA said, I think you need to put on a little makeup because I mean, even though it's military, you're in Hollywood. You have to be a little glam. You have to do a little glam thing. So I got a little glammed up, and then he said, okay, take no prisoners when you go in there. So my scene was the actual scene of having that spear hit my head, drill a hole in my head, and all the blood comes shooting out, right? So I walk in there, I was like, okay, I'm going to give it everything I got. Right? So I see the spear, I scream at the top of my lungs. The spear comes, hits me in the head. I'm imagining all this. I throw myself up against the wall, I slide down the wall, and then I was just laying there like forever until they told me to get up. Then they're like, okay, that was good, that was good. And I didn't know what to expect. This is my first film audition. And so I waited, and she said, okay, well, thank you. So I thought I sucked. I didn't think I got the job at all. So I went home, and a few days later, I got the call that I was actually booked on the job, and I was thrilled. Yeah, very thrilled, very
That's awesome.
exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
To be a part of the Phantasm franchise it's for me, it's a huge achievement because um I started watching the very first one. I was just a little wee kid. So when I first saw the first one, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this might be good. And then like later on, as it progressed, and the two, then three, then four, etc. I'm like, okay, this is a good franchise. I love the practical special effects. I love the makeup,
Oh yeah.
and those little silver balls are assholes. Just saying, because they're everywhere. I mean, so but a lot of people don't realize what actors go through in order to prepare to get their career started. And
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
why I have a lot of respect for actors because you go through a lot just to get on the big
yeah.
screen and to act in movies. And for me, I landed a role in an independent horror movie called The Farmhouse Murders, and I feel bad because all I did was ask the director, "Do you have a remote role?" And he said, "Yes. Would you like to be in it?" Like, absolutely. No auditioning, no training, no schooling, nothing. I'm like, well, shit. Now I feel really bad because you guys go through a lot.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
But it's
a lot
great
of
though.
respect for you. A lot of
Yeah.
respect for you guys. I love it. So,
Thank you.
um,
Thank you.
your role in Phantasm 3 is incredible. Like the commando ladies. I mean, you obviously just come out of nowhere, you start kicking ass and taking names, handcuffing and gagging people and shit. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So even though a lot of people don't know that Phantasm is a different type of style of horror, it's
Mhm.
I'm not exactly sure what kind of genre or subgenre it falls under. I mean, there could be like a myriad of possibilities of what subgenre it falls under. But
Yeah.
how did you already answered the next question, how you got involved with it, but you auditioned for the part, you got it, and like shit, we
Yeah.
want her. She's good.
Yeah. I think I screamed so loud I scared everybody. Yeah.
That's good. I mean, if you
Yeah.
can break glass and scream, it's like shit, put her on the main role. Okay, I'm like you get out of here. You're being replaced by her. Get over there. So, I mean, that's the so you read the script, and it's predominantly about a tall man chasing this guy who has the ability to kill him, yada yada yada, and the power to destroy him. What were your thoughts after reading the script?
I have to be honest with you. When I read the script, I really didn't know what to think of it. I never auditioned for a horror film before. I didn't know. I knew very little about Phantasm. So I just was like, oh, this is pretty cool. It's interesting. There's a lot of different, characters and there was a lot going on because I didn't know anything about the Phantasm franchise, when I auditioned for it. So, yeah, so I was just really excited about being a part of a new genre, and playing this role, which was like this badass, tough woman, who had a gun. And I was, because I'd never held a gun before, so this was all new to me. So so I had to learn how to do that. And then when I met, Gloria, who plays Rocky, I thought, oh, this is perfect because it's like it's our opportunity as two women of color to get together and work. And we're not competing against each other, we're working together, we're like, conquering these, crazy phantasm figures. so so I was just really excited about that, and I pulled the gun on Reggie, and I got to kick him and do all that stuff. It was just really fun, um playing a role like that because I never played one like that before. Yeah, so it was very cool. And Reggie was so awesome because he's like, no, 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 don't worry, because I was afraid I was actually going to kick him, and he's like, no, 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 it's okay. You'll be fine. I'm sure you won't kick me. I was kicking the ground, just so everybody knows. I didn't. I was kicking right next to him. I was being very careful. But it was fun. So it was all new to me. Everything was new. And but I have to say though, I loved the way that they shot the scene when the spear came like flying at my head, and the little drill came out and all the blood came gushing out. They actually attached the spear to my head, like slightly glued to my head, right? Then they had like a fishing rod, you know, and they attached like a clear cord to the fishing rod, to the spear, and they pulled the sphere away from my head. But in editing, they reversed it so it looked like it was coming towards my head. It was awesome. And then they had this tube wrapped around the back of me, up around my ear. And that's where all the blood came spurting out. It was awesome. So it was like everybody was kind of going with the flow and creating as we went along. And so it was fun. It was fun. I had a great time.
It sounds like it. I mean, I have a little grudge against the writers. So your role was very short. I was very disappointed that you had a very short role and you died
Yeah.
so quick. I'm like, that is not fair.
I was so ready. That's the thing. I was like, I was trained, ready to go, and then all of a sudden I died. I'm like, how did that happen? But I think I was just mesmerized by that sphere coming towards me. It just kind of put me into a trance. In
Isn't it
my
awesome
defense,
how
right?
yeah, right. Isn't it awesome how the special effects people come up with that kind of stuff? It's really
Yeah,
amazing. I just wish they would keep that same kind of mentality when it comes to horror movies. You get
yeah,
CGI, you get AI. I'm like, it's all complete garbage. I mean, bring back special effects, some practical shit, and make it look real. I mean, oh my God,
yeah.
I watched the movie I watched a couple days ago, and there was complete just CGI. I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous, people. Come on now. You got to do a lot better than this. I mean, this is nuts. Like two thumbs down. So,
That's funny.
so your character Tanisha, badass commando, run around Rocky. I mean, if you could come up with a background story for your character, what would it be?
It's so funny you should say that because Don Coscarelli wrote this amazing book. I don't know if you know anything about it, but it's called Fiction. And it's a backstory for all of the characters, from the first Phantasm all the way through the fifth, right? I read it and I'm like, okay, this works. Basically, Rocky's on the road. She's looking for she's going home. She's traveling. She just got out of the army or wherever she came from. And she's on the road and she's traveling. Her car breaks down. And then she hooks up with Tanesha. She meets Tanesha at like some kind of bar place where everybody's hanging out. They fall for each other. They end up having a romantic relationship in fiction, which is pretty cool. And then they go to the mausoleum, right? And they are looking for before they go to the mausoleum, they go to Rocky's hometown in Idaho to see her parents because that's where she was headed initially, only to find out that the whole town has been like decimated. There's no one there. So then she's like, okay, let's go to the mausoleum and see if they've been buried or something. And so then that's how we end up there. And then the rest is history, kind of led up to everything else that happened in Phantasm. But I thought that was brilliant that Don created that backstory for all the characters in all of the Phantasm um, films. It's pretty cool. It was pretty cool he did
It's
that. And
fascinating.
yeah,
I
go
have to
ahead.
check that out.
Yeah, no, it's right here. Check it out. See? Can you
Oh,
see it? Yeah,
fiction with a PH. Okay, got it.
yeah,
Okay, that makes more
yeah,
sense. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay. So what can I find that book? Is it anywhere online? It's like any online store?
Yeah, get online. I got it online. Yeah, you can just pull it up, get it online. Yeah, anywhere. Yeah.
Okay,
So.
yeah. This movie is very unique, as you can tell. And I love your energy, by the way. Your energy is just channeling. This is great. Um, Very unique movie. And what was it like on set? How was the energy being channeled on set with the other actors?
It was just fun. It was fun because we were all in a creative mode. We were just creating, we were going with the flow. If one thing didn't work with the effects, then we tried something different, We were just like kind of just going with it and having fun. So it was yeah, it was easy. It was just collaborating, the actors were all just collaborating, working together, joking around, having a good time. I was thrilled to be there. It was my first time on set, so it was very cool. I was just happy to be there. Yeah.
And it's one thing I love about the movie is how the characters in the movie use their real names too, which is awesome, by the way. I think it's just great. Reggie is Reggie, Michael is Michael, Jody is Jody. It's really cool. I
Yeah.
happen to know, is Reggie Bannister just as goofy off camera as he is on camera?
He's a sweet, sweet man. He really is. He's a really sweet man. And he's incredibly talented and just he's fun. He's a nice person. He's just a very nice person. So yeah, he is goofy and fun and makes everybody feel comfortable and creates a very light atmosphere so that we after like the 10th hour, or several hours of being in a mausoleum on a cold floor because I'd lay on the floor a couple times and things like that. Um, it wasn't like, oh, this is hard work and this is, grueling. It was like, oh, we're all playing. It's like playtime, So it was fun. He was great to work with. Absolutely.
Now his car, I'm gonna steal his car. Just saying. Barracuda is like the coolest car in a horror movie ever, next to Christine. So it's just is that his actual car too, or is it just a prop they put in the movie?
It's a prop in the movie, as far as I know. I don't think that's his real car. I don't think so. That's a good question, though. But I think it's a prop in the movie.
Reggie, if you're listening, I'm gonna go to your house. I'm gonna steal your car. It's gonna happen, dude. I'm sorry, man. I love you, but I love your car.
I
So
want,
the wild practical effects and your character must go well in the movie. You underwent some intense situations, and
yeah.
it seemed like it was a very like an austere situation, like the filming at a coal mausoleum at that time, or just did it come easy breezy, you know?
It was just easy breezy. Everything was just really laid out and very specific. I think for me, I wanted to come across as being authentic in terms of, being a part of the military and knowing how to use a gun and all of that. So I was being very careful about how I held the gun and so forth, because I really wanted to portray Tanesha as knowing her business, handling her business. So yeah, it was a very, authentic, fun. Yeah, it was
And if
fun.
you're watching
Everybody's cool.
and if you're watching this right now, Sarah has not changed since the movie. I'm just it's she looks fabulous. She looks the same, okay? And if you don't like it, bear it and share it, buddy. It's gonna just
Well, I must say I'm melting over here. It's so hot.
California is I man, like I said, I've been to LA once, never going back. So I was there as a child visiting my aunt in downtown LA. I remember being hot and humid, and she had no air conditioning. I'm like, Jesus, how do you live without air conditioning in California? It's impossible.
Man,
So
yeah, I've got air conditioning, I've got a fan, I've got everything, and I'm still burning up over here. I'm like melting, like a popsicle.
so you
Yeah.
watched the whole movie, right? After you like your scene was done and after it be produced, did you actually go to the theater and watch the movie?
I didn't. I did not go to the movie to
What?
to see the movie at the theater. No, I did not. I think I watched it on. I watched it at. I don't know. Did I rent it? I think I may have rented it after it came out in videos. That's when we had like the VHS videos and
Oh,
stuff
geez.
like that. Yeah.
Now I feel old. Damn it.
So yeah, I rented it and I went home and I watched it afterwards. Yeah, because I remember after that it was really nice because it was like I started to flow in my career. I started working more, and so I was really kind of focused on what the next script and what I was doing at the time. And I remember a friend of mine, actually, it was Gloria, who said, "Hey, have you seen the movie? You got to go check it out." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, no, I didn't know," because I didn't know if we had a premiere or what was going on, because I think I had gone back to New York at that time, and I was understudying on Broadway. So yeah, it was just a big whirlwind for me. Yeah. So I didn't see it until much later. But I'm just so impressed that this film has lasted for so long, that it's such a, I am just like amazed, because literally it was the beginning of my career, the very beginning of my career, very first project I ever did. And the mere fact that there are fans who are so interested in it and still following it, I'm so thankful, and I couldn't have imagined that it would have lasted for so long. So it's
You get the
pretty amazing.
yeah, definitely. I could not agree more because it resonates. The franchise resonates throughout the horror community,
Yeah.
and because it's just it's not in a bad way. It's a cheesy movie, but not in a bad way. So it's
Right,
fun to
right, right,
watch.
right, right.
It's fun to watch, and my son, he loves horror just as much as I do. but he's never seen the Phantasm franchise. And so I'm like, okay, when you come when you come October for my wedding, we're gonna have a Phantasm. We're gonna do a marathon, okay? Because that is unacceptable. How do you not see it? He's like,
Yeah, it's
he's like,
fun. It's fun. It's unpredictable. It's just crazy, right? It's a crazy, fun movie. My kids love it too. So,
there's a lot of movies. He turns 21 next month, and there's a lot of movies he has not seen yet. I'm like, you and I are gonna sit down. We're gonna have marathons of all the franchises because starting with Phantasm because that's what Phantasm is the first franchise I started watching as a kid. So because around the same time you had Nightmare on Elm Street, you had Hellraiser, you had Friday the 13th, all these
right,
franchises
right.
compete with each other, and I guess Phantasm wasn't out of theaters when I was a kid. I remember watching it at home. And matter of fact, it was a VHS tape because I
Yeah,
remember,
yeah,
oh my God, I had a top loader. Jesus Christ, now I'm really old. I had a top loader VCR and just sitting there watching it like, Jesus Christ, dude. So, yeah, it's all the memories are flooding back now. I need to stop because I'm about to get my
yeah.
walking cane here in a minute because I'm feeling old. So,
Don't feel old. Don't feel old. No, it's awesome.
so after watching
Yeah.
the movie,
So,
you're like, oh God, that's me, that's me. I did that. So pat
yeah, yeah,
yourself
yeah,
pat,
yeah.
pat yourself in the back. You were fantastic in the movie, even though the role is very short. And I'm very disappointed in the writers for making your role very short. So you could have lasted that the entire movie with Rocky. You two would have been perfect, kicking ass on the road with Reggie and Michael and all that shit like that. But do you have a favorite scene in that movie?
You know, I loved watching Rocky. I loved watching her scenes, so that what she did in that movie. It was just awesome. I have to honestly tell you, I had like a girl crush on her because she was, when I got there, she's just like lean and mean, and she's got her hair cut just right, and she's got these muscles and the nunchucks. And so, when she started working, I was like, oh, I was thinking, okay, I thought I was in shape, but I guess I'm not as in shape as I thought I was. Um, so when she started, doing her thing, and then when I saw her in the movie, when I finally rented my VHS and saw it, I was really impressed with all of the scenes that she was in. I mean, she was very authentic. She was really awesome to watch because you didn't see a lot of women of color in horror movies, and I think she was the first woman of color in the Phantasm franchise. Um, and she and I, but she was the one who had like such a enormous role and went so far. So for me, it's like I was really cheering her on, and then there were the scenes that she had, with Reggie, and it was mostly the fighting scenes that I was really kind of digging. I thought they were pretty cool. I was really impressed by those. I thought they were cool. And all those little minions running around too, which kind of freaked me out. Those little tiny little, things that were just kind
Guys,
of
they're little assholes too. Just
I was like, what in the world? That was pretty scary. So overall, I think the movie was just it was a lot of fun, but I particularly liked watching Rocky do her thing because I had never seen it before. I'd never seen a woman of color doing that in a horror movie. And I must admit though, as a person who has gone to see many horror movies, I always watch them like this. I can't literally like just watch a movie because I have horrible dreams afterwards. So it sticks with me. I don't care what's, if it's like, I don't know. I'm thinking of like Get Out and different movies like that. And that wasn't even a bloody movie, Get Out, but it's just the psychological thriller part of it that was really kind of messed with your mind.
yeah, absolutely, I agree. That was done by Key and Peele, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, Jordan Peele. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, that is a good movie. I mean,
yeah.
there's so times I think after I watched that movie for the first time, I was questioning my sanity. It's just the way it was
Yeah.
going. I'm
I
like,
know, right?
am I in the Matrix right now? Because I have to know. Am I deep in my mind so much? Am I me right now? And I have to pinch myself or
Yeah.
slap myself in the face or something. Like, wake up, Ben. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Do
that's
you have a
funny.
favorite horror movie?
Do I? Let's see. I'm having little light issues here. Sorry about that. My favorite horror movie, I would have to say it would be Get Out because I like the psychological thrillers. I really do. I like the ones that really mess with your head and but are so realistic that you could see, oh wow, this could potentially actually really happen. So the kinds of movie, the horror movies that when I would leave, I felt like, I was seeing the world in a whole different perspective, like you were saying, similar to what you were saying. So I think, yeah, I Get Out was, it was very the top on the list. Yeah, it was one of my favorite movies. Yeah, it was. I'd never seen a movie like that one before. So it
Have you
was. I'm sorry,
have you seen Us? His other movie called Us.
I haven't seen Us. I haven't seen
Oh my
Us
God,
yet.
that will really mess with your mind. Just saying. I mean, it's if you want a good
Really?
psychological mind spank, yes, you will watch Us. That's a great movie because it'll make you question like,
Yeah.
is this stuff actually real? It doesn't really because in the beginning of the movie, there's like all these like it does the introduction of like how like the US subways and all these underground places were abandoned over the years and yeah, you read that and at the end of the movie, I'm like, I'm never going in the subway again or in the music ride again at the
Yeah.
carnival. Never again. Because I don't want somebody, yeah. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but I definitely recommend watching the movie. It's really good.
Oh,
So
I'll check it
I'm
out
sorry,
for sure.
we diverted. We diverted. Holy shit. Okay.
I know
So
that's okay. That's okay. Yeah.
so
So
um
yeah, go ahead.
no, you first. Rock, paper, scissors, go. You go ahead.
No. Yeah, I was gonna say anything. Go ahead. You got it.
Um, if you could play any other role in any movie, what would it be? Any genre.
Wow.
Comedy, romance, action, thriller, or if you could be any other character in any other movie, who would it be and which movie would it be?
Oh, that's huge. Wow. It's so crazy, but the
Okay.
first movie that came to mind was Scarface.
Okay.
Say hello to my little friend, right? Um, yeah, I want to play like Tanesha. I want to play those badass, tough, like Blonde. Is it Blonde with Charisse Theron?
Oh,
Help me.
Charlize Theron.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I was just watching that the other day. And I like those kind of action, you know, fighting because I've never done that before. I've never done like choreographed fighting scenes like that. But I just love seeing women exert that kind of power. It's really fun for me. So I think, yeah, I probably want to do Blonde.
That's one thing
Blonde.
I do love supporting is women in horror because a lot of women in horror they're so unappreciated when it comes to movies.
Mm,
So and
yeah.
I notice like a lot of them don't get like the lead roles, and what I think they should. So it bothers me. You hear that Hollywood? Get more female actors to play leads, okay? This is crazy. I'm tired of seeing men taking over, okay? This is nuts. Let women take over. So
Yeah, play those roles, we can do all the action stuff and the stunts and I mean, but you're seeing it more. So it's not like it's non-existent. You definitely see it more than you used to, like maybe say 10 or 20 years ago. But needless to say, I would like to have that opportunity to play one of those roles because I think I'd
absolutely,
crucify
absolutely.
it.
You would nail it down to a T. You would. I see it now.
Yeah,
The
for
return,
sure.
Phantasm VI, the return of Tanesha. La 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 la. La.
I know. They have to put the blood back into my head, right? You know,
Tanisha's revenge.
right. And I come back and that would be awesome.
So a question I
Yeah.
like to ask all my guests, influences. Who are your biggest influences?
Wow. Okay. So Viola Davis.
Okay.
Um, who else? Ingenue Ellis Taylor. Um, Uh, who else? Let me think. Let me think. Meryl Streep, of course, and the one and only. Zoe Saldana. Let's start off with Viola Davis. I am attracted to, and all of them fit into this category for me. Um, I love watching actors, whether they're male, female, whoever, it doesn't matter, but who really embody the role that they're playing, who they're not the same, they just really take on the whole persona, and it's difficult to recognize them initially because they have become the person, that character that they're playing. And I believe that Viola and Ingenue and Meryl Streep, of course, and Zoe Saldana, that they have the capacity to do that. And that's why I love their work. I mean, but overall, in all honesty, I have such a deep respect and appreciation for all actors, because we step into other people's shoes, other lives. We live many lives, and we're storytellers. And so we have this beautiful gift of being able to transform people's lives in a positive way, to enlighten them, give them hope. And I think by really embodying the characters, that allows us to become familiar to people who perhaps would think, oh gosh, she's so different than I am. But when they actually look at me playing a specific role, they're like, oh, I can identify with that, or if I've experienced something similar to that. So it really brings us closer as human beings. It just brings us closer, and us have a better understanding of one another in life and so forth. So yeah, I think I'm I think artists in general are just so remarkable. And,
Thank you.
yeah, I think they really are. I think they're really truly extraordinary because, my kids often ask me, they're like, yeah, mom, but I want to get a steady job and I'm going to be a lawyer or a doctor or do all of these other things. And I was like, yeah, you could do that, or you can be an artist. I said, because an artist, what we do is very valuable. The desk that I'm sitting at right now, it wouldn't be here. Someone created this, the house that we're living in. I mean, we can go down to the shoes that are on your feet and the car that you're driving. These are all artistic endeavors, right? So I said, just think of how empty our lives would be if there weren't any artists in the
Right,
world.
right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we'd be really very empty and very cold. And so, maybe perhaps it may be difficult, and you may be struggling at some point in your career as an artist, but you have to do it. You do it. Well, I do it because it's a passion of mine and because I love it. And it just brings me so much joy to to make people happy, whether I'm doing comedy or drama or but to touch hearts, to touch other hearts. And so, but that's why I do it. And then that's why those ladies are so important to me. And those are just a few ladies that I really feel compelled to speak about in terms of the craft of acting and artistry in general. There are so many artists who they're very, very skilled at what they do. I mean, television, so different from feature film, so different from stage, so different from sketch comedy. So it just keeps going on and on and on, but they all serve a purpose and they're all telling stories. And then the collaboration of writers and directors and actors, it's magical. When you go to a film and you see something and you're I had to tell my daughter the other day, I said, there's a camera right in front of her right now. And she said, Mommy, you would never know that because she's really having a real experience and it doesn't seem like there's anyone there. And I said, but that's what's so beautiful and magical about it. That kind of focus and concentration and commitment to the craft is it's pretty beautiful. It's pretty awesome. I know I went off on a tangent,
That's
but yeah.
very good answer. Yeah, oh, I love it. No, no, this is great. It's good. It's very good to know. Um, Unfortunately, we got about 2 minutes left. So what I also know is, do you have any projects coming up that you're allowed to talk about and tell the audience?
Well, I did work on a short film in April that's going to do the festival circuit. I can't really talk about it right now. It's has a working title, but that's something that's going to hit the festivals and it's pretty impactful, very exciting. That's all I can say. I am going to be at Scarefest in October. So those of you who are Phantasm fans, come on out. I will be in Kentucky from the 18th through the 20th of October and speaking on panels, signing pictures, posters, all that good stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun. Hope you can come
Awesome.
on out.
I'm gonna put that
Yeah.
out, definitely. I'm gonna put my little feelers out, tell all my little horror buddies that live in Kentucky to go see you at the Scare Fest.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm also writing. I'm writing a piece right now, and it's called Love. It's actually called Love. It's really about let's see. It's about, you know, if we could live our lives every day from the perspective of love, what would that look like? What would that look like? How would this world be different? And that's as far as I am with the development of it. So I just started working on it, but it's called Love, and it's the working title, and it will be the title. I'm keeping it.
Awesome.
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
So I'm sorry we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you taking the time out and speaking to you. I had a
yeah,
blast.
yeah, I did
I'm
too.
It's been great talking to you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fantastic lovers out there, your favorite commando, my favorite commando, Sarah Scott Davis from Phantasm 3. Such a wonderful guest, and I wish you nothing but success in your career and a prosperous future. And you have a wonderful evening.
Yes, you too. And thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, the pleasure is all mine. Take care.
Okay, you take care. Bye-bye.